Okay, sorry about that. This is part two, because apparently I stopped the video instead of pausing it. So that article I was gonna read you guys. Okay, this is from a site called Yahweh Restoration Ministry, and this goes into kind of what we're talking about here. And I'm gonna read part of the article here. Okay, it says, despite the fact that nearly all credible scholars and biblical references confirm and use Yahweh, there are still those who insist on using the you in the name, i.e. Yahuwah or Yahuwah. Typically, those who employ the you for tend to overemphasize the sound of the you as well, by saying Yahuwah or Yahuwah. The letter in question, the Wa, and third letter on the Hebrew Tetragrammaton, is represented by the W. The development of the letter U shows a late progression. The American Heritage Dictionary says the W came to be pronounced as a V in later Latin, proof that Yahweh is historically impossible. Then the source says under the letter U originated in the early Middle Ages as a cursive version of V. The W, or Wa, in biblical Hebrew is a weak letter. The W even drops out in some English words like sword, wrong, rap, law, wrench, etc., etc. The Wa is almost a guttural and is nearly swallowed in the biblical Hebrew. The opposite, or overemphasis, given by some to the U sound, who pronounces answer as ansur. Yeah, we don't use that, right? We don't do that. The book How the Hebrew Language Grew by Edward Horwitz explains how many English words with the equivalent letter W silent follows in the same pattern as the Hebrew ones. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here, and it says, the main argument for Yahuwah is that the name Judah or Yehuda holds the key to unlocking the truth of the Father's name. The Tetragrammaton contains the Hebrew letters Yod, He, Wah, He, and the name of Judah is Yod, He, Wah, Deleth, He. Now, according to them, simply remove the Deleth and you have the same pronunciation. But that's not how Hebrew works, right? It says this is indeed poor scholarship, even if you can call it that. To formulate a pronunciation by using a different Hebrew word that has a similar letters is naive and linguistically not very sound. Hebrew, you can have words that are spelled exactly the same but pronounced different, just like in the English language, right? So, if you guys want to look up that website, it's really pretty impressive because they've done their research, and I believe they're native Hebrew speaking and as well. It's yrm.org, okay, which just stands for Yahweh's Restoration Ministry. And so that's just one article. I know that's kind of boring to some people, but, you know, a name is important, especially the name of our Father. I mean, that's really, really important. And we have all been misled and taught by Christendom or by false teachers, and sometimes not even knowingly, just because we're caught up with the language that we've been taught, right? And if we're naive and ignorant to these facts, that's one thing. I don't think our Father would judge us on that. But if we do find out the truth, we should share it with others, and we should try to use His proper name. Just like if you told somebody your proper name and they kept saying it the wrong way, that would probably irritate you. Well, our Father's even more important than our own feelings. So, and remember, so like the letter J in English wasn't even born until 1633. So, you know, things change. We can't take the word of people. We have to do our own research. And now I'm going to get into an even more controversial subject. The meaning or the actual pronunciation of the word Jesus. Is that the proper way of pronouncing God's Son's name? Now, there is a conspiracy, right, going around on the internet, that the Latin origins of the word Jesus actually equates to the word earth pig. And I looked into this, and it could possibly have some meaning to it. I wouldn't put it past Satan to do that to us. And, of course, we're not going to be judged if we didn't know any better, right? But when you go into it, of course, in Latin there's no letter J either, so it would be G-E, J. And in Latin, J stands for earth. And the sus, S-U-S, in Latin means pig. So maybe they did pull one over on us, and that's Satan's way of laughing at our Most High's Son, right? And that could be true. I really hope it's not, because that's messed up if it is. But we know if you go into his original language, Hebrew language, his name was Yeshua. And of course, just like with the other word, J wasn't introduced into the English language until 1633, so it was previously with an I. It was Jesus, I-E-S-U-S. And my argument for this whole translation is simply this, okay? Like I said before, no matter where I go, I don't want people trying to translate my name. I want them to pronounce it the way I pronounce it and the way all my friends pronounce it and my family pronounces it. That way, if somebody calls my name, I can know it's me. And I can turn around and say, oh yeah, that's me. If they say some other word, I don't even know it's me, because I've never heard a translation in a different language. And names shouldn't be translated. Names are different than objects. Name is a name. I can't even. I was never good at English and with nouns and verbs and this and that. But a name is different than a describing adjective. A name is simply that, a name. That sounded intelligent, right? Forgive me. So, according to original documents and Dead Sea Scrolls, Jesus' original name was pronounced in Hebrew as Yeshua, okay? And the same thing is going on with people starting to change the oohs and the ahs in Hebrew, and they're trying to say Yahusha and Yeshua and all these strange names. But if you go back to the original manuscripts, it's Yeshua, and there's no argument for that. Now here we go into an interesting article, and I want to show you the world's view on this. And if we agree with the world's view, then something's wrong, right? Mainstream. So here's an article in Newsweek, okay? And Newsweek magazine, when they weigh in on something like this, you got to think, what's the purpose? Why would they even weigh in on a matter like this? I mean, this is a mainstream propaganda media, right? And they seem to think that the name doesn't matter, okay? There's an article that's in Newsweek that was called, it says, the title was Jesus' real name Yeshua or Joshua? And is there a right way to identify the Son of God? Yes, this was in Newsweek, okay? Let's read that article. Hopefully I don't stop the video again like I did last time. Hold on one second. Let's see. Bear with me, guys, because I do not know how to do this without screwing the whole thing up. So you're just going to have to wait for 1 second. I thought I could read it on my phone without stopping the video, but apparently I don't know how to do that. So you're just going to have to be a little patient with me. Okay. Okay, I found it. Good. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. Sorry, I'm really not good with technology. I used to be a long time ago, but then I kind of gave it up. Okay. Let's read this part of this article, okay? Even they're admitting his original Hebrew name is Yeshua. By Dr. Brown mentions this. This article, by the way, is written by Hannah Preston, okay? And later in the article, it says, while some religious groups like Messianic Jews believe in worshiping Yeshua instead of Jesus, there doesn't seem to be a complete right or wrong way to do it. It is said in the Bible that anyone who calls on the Lord is saved. And then they quote Romans 10:13. I'm trying to wonder when Newsweek got interested in preaching. So that bothers me. When a mainstream article is talking about this, and of course they're talking about Christmas too and celebrating Christmas, and we all know the pagan origins of Christmas. So I have to accept the opposite of what they're saying, because I know their intent is not to guide us to worshiping the proper way, right? So that article is interesting. You might want to read that if you have time. You might want to look it up. It talks about how the Messianic Jews are wrong, and that they're, according to the Bible, we can call them whatever we want to. And I just don't agree with that. I think we need to be educated and call him by his proper name. And I'm still guilty of slipping up and saying Jesus and Jehovah and God and stuff like that, because I've been using those words for 42 years, since I was like an infant. Well, not infant, but a toddler. And it's sad that even our own language can deceive us. And I know people may have different viewpoints on this, and they may think I'm making too big of a deal of it, but to me, I think it is pretty important. I really do. It was laid on my heart to make this video, and for the longest time I didn't want to make this video because I knew it's going to offend a lot of people, and I don't want to offend a lot of people, but you know, like Matthew 7:23 says, let's look that up real quick. Okay? When you know somebody, right? When you truly know somebody, you're going to call them by their proper name. You're not going to vary from that, you know? And when you really love somebody, you're going to, if you find out that that's not the right way of pronouncing their name, you're going to change the way you pronounce it, right? Matthew 7:23. And this is what he's going to tell people in the judgment time, you know. It says, "And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Get away from me, you workers of lawlessness." If we truly know him, we're going to call him by his proper name. And maybe he won't judge people on this. I really hope he doesn't, because a lot of people aren't familiar with this. But if we do learn the proper way, let's use the proper way. Let's call him by his real name, you know. I would not want to insult the Son of the Most High by using a name that was invented, you know. And basically, that's the word Jesus was invented. It's not his real name. His real name is Yeshua, which is so ingrained in us. I know this is going to be difficult for a lot of people. We have been using those words for our entire life. And when we identify that name in our brain, it's something pretty sacred to us. But even at the late hour, if we find out that it's wrong or something's wrong, we need to try to make adjustments, and that's not going to be easy. So that's all I pretty much have written for this, or have noted here. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm not very good at these videos, but I think it's important we call our Father by his right name, which is Yahweh, and his Son by his right name, which is Yeshua, and we don't stray from that, because it's not, I mean, if you really truly love somebody and you know them and you're intimate, Yeshua wants us to be intimate with him, right? We're supposed to be the bride, right? You want to be intimate, you have to use the proper names. And it's going to be a hard one for people to swallow. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for these videos, but you know, it's the truth, and I'm not going to shy away from speaking the truth. So with that, I love you all. I know we're all under heavy persecution right now. I've been in tremendous pain, more pain than I've been in a long time. I suffer from severe chronic spinal impingement and seizures, and it's just been ruthless. But I know I'm being persecuted for a good reason, and I know most of you are going through similar things as well. So hang in there. That means we're close and we're doing the right thing. So with that, I love you all, and I hope to talk to you later. If you know anybody that could learn from these videos, please share them. If you know anybody who hasn't come to the Son Yeshua and to his Father yet, and repented of their sins and prayed to our Father and asked forgiveness, they need to do it soon, because we're running out of time. So please encourage as many people as you can. Go to our Father in prayer. Pour your heart out to him. We're running out of time. So I love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.